Welcome to another episode of The People's Doctor. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at antibody testing in COVID-19. Specifically, we are going to answer the following questions. Number 1, how do you know how good a test is? Number 2, what does sensitivity and specificity mean for a test? Is this the same as accurate? And finally, number 3, are the antibody tests as good as they claim? Now, we've heard a lot of claims in the media recently hailing antibody testing as the breakthrough, but is it that straightforward? Science never is. In order to know how good a test is, we need to look at two things, sensitivity and specificity. The easiest way to learn about sensitivity and specificity is to imagine a scenario. In this case, we're going to use a zombie apocalypse. Here, the zombies don't always show your Hollywood symptoms and can blend into the human population. So scientists at a military base have developed a blood test that picks up the infected. If a person's blood test is positive, i.e. they're a zombie, they will be shot on sight. If the blood test is negative, the person is given the all clear and allowed to live. So your life really depends on how good the test is. Now, with lives at stake, let's go through a simple logical thought process. I'm sure you would agree you would want a test that 1. Correctly picks up patients with the condition, i.e. a person who is truly a zombie. These are known as true positives. Simply put, the ability of a test to pick up true positives or correctly classify an individual as diseased is known as sensitivity. The more sensitive a test becomes, the more true positives a test picks up. Number 2. You would want a test that also correctly picks up patients that do not have the disease. In our example, a person who is truly not a zombie. These are true negatives. Simply put, the ability of a test to pick up true negatives or correctly classify an individual as disease-free is known as specificity. The more specific a test becomes, the more true negatives a test picks up. So sensitivity and specificity looks at picking up true values. With testing in general, false values are bad. Let's take a look at what you would not want in a test. For one thing, you would not want a test that gives positive results for patients when they don't actually have the disease, i.e. a person marked as a zombie but really isn't. Because remember, these innocent people would then be killed. These are known as false positives. Lastly, you would also not want a test that comes back negative for patients when they actually have the disease. In our scenario, these are people whose tests show clear but are actually zombies, and who would then go on to massacre the entire military base. These are our false negatives. So in summary, for a test to be accurate, we must first specify what we are referring to. Is it the sensitivity or the specificity? Because a test with a high sensitivity may have much poorer specificity and vice versa. Therefore, it may be accurate in the sense of picking up true positives, but not so accurate when picking up true negatives. In fact, that is often the pattern we find with testing, with sensitivity and specificity hanging in a state of balance. If we revisit the newspaper claims from earlier and look into it in a little more detail, you will find they were in reference to the antibody test for COVID-19 produced by the manufacturer Roche. The media made these claims based on an evaluation of the tests by Public Health England. Roche themselves claim a specificity greater than 99.8% and a sensitivity of 100%. However, Public Health England conducted some in-house testing using the Roche antibody kit themselves. Although their evaluation did show a specificity of 100%, they only found a sensitivity of 83.9%. I mean, that is still pretty reasonable, but it's not the same as 100%. Whether you take the figures provided by Roche or the figures from Public Health England, you can see how vague the media claims can be with selective reporting and how easy it is to be misled. As a closing note, we don't actually know yet whether the simple presence of antibodies means we are immune to COVID-19. Hopefully now you have a better understanding and can see how sensationalist headlines can be misleading. If you would like to be more informed or simply gain more knowledge on how to determine what is true or not in popular health media, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Remember, our channel is completely curated by doctors working within the NHS.